Y'all know what it is. Y'all know who it is. It's your boy Pharaoh the Guy, always on the job. I got five less talk, and as always, it's real talk, raw talk. And y'all know it's that time again to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell another friend. Share, like, and subscribe. Don't hide. Them buttons ain't got no teeth, so go ahead and reach. Support the channel. Support your boy. And above all, man, support the movement. Yes, indeedy. Ramadan Mubarak to everybody that's out there fasting. Before we get into the topic of tonight that's going viral all over the news, and that, yes, it will be the assassination of Mencho. But before we get into that, we gotta pay our respects. Today, fourth day of Ramadan. Today it was bad for me. I woke up this morning, wasn't feeling too good. I was like literally sick to my stomach, like, with the news that I had received yesterday. You know, so yesterday it was bad for me, receiving the type of news I had. And then when I woke up this morning, it was watch them whatchamacallits, the mosquitoes. This morning when I woke up, like I said, I was sick to my stomach. I ended up throwing up, and I didn't think I was gonna make it to Ramadan. I didn't even think I was gonna even make it to work. But I said, you know what, man? I gotta go to work. I got to work. I said, man, I don't think I'm gonna be able to finish out this Ramadan, man. It's already killing me. But I remember the reason of why we fast is to receive taqwa, to receive God consciousness. And when I remembered that, I said, Allah, please make it easy upon me today and let me finish my fast. And it was kind of hard, but I was able to do it. Alhamdulillah, man. These are the things, like, these are the benefits of what you look for. And like I said, I really didn't think I was going to be able to knock down today. I didn't think I was going to be able to put today on the good bad at all. My mind, them little shaitans that not believing in myself and not recognizing what to do when I'm fasting, they was attacking me because I wasn't clear in the understanding of what I'm fasting for. So what I did was I kept defeating myself. I kept denying myself the power that I already had. But when you make the good intention to do that fast, Allah said He got you. He just wants you to start that intention. So even though I had the intention, I'm trying to, get out of it. You know what I'm saying? Or just think I was, too weak. But when all else failed, I relied on Allah Ta'ala, and I just asked Him, man, hey, man, help me out, man. Met another brother today at work, fresh into the deen, wanted to learn, we're chopping it up with him, and it became cool, but this is the reason why we fast, is to receive taqwa. So if I didn't know this is what we was fasting for, I wouldn't even thought about God consciousness. Like, that's the man upstairs. He got all the power. I wouldn't have thought that. I would have went ahead and just tried to do it on my own, like Allah not there to help me out. You know what I mean? So that was my fault. But it worked out for the greater good. I was able to do my thing. You know what I mean? And it only gets better. Like now it only gets more better. Why? Because as for me, I start to understand. You feel what I'm saying? I start to understand what's the use of it. Um, so that's, a little personal, but we gotta give thanks. We gotta share what we going through. I see it's a lot of people in here, man. Go ahead, hit that like button before we start the show. Make sure y'all hit that like button, that subscribe button. It don't cost you nothing. Indulge in them comments, man. Um, but we gotta utilize the things that we are actually trying to achieve during this Ramadan. I will be starting the show at 7:30 on time, but please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, indulge in the comments, ask some questions before we get started. Right now, this is the interlude. And also, I started to see that, my like in my mind now is the addiction to weed. You feel me? Cause I don't fiend for it, so now it's like I gotta get off that. Or at least I gotta have one a day before. You feel me? I gotta get off of that. And Allahu Alam, that's Allah knows best what we fast for, but when you ask him to make it easy for you and you got that good intention, that good purpose to do it, he gonna be there and he gonna help you, man. You feel me? He's definitely gonna do that. Even though it's a struggle, it feel better when you knock that day down and you had a struggle. Because you begin to see how powerful you are, how spiritually you are, how mentally strong you are, and how dedicated you are to something that is good. So, just for me, my Ramadan is going it's going all right. Like I said, I received some bad news. One of my good cousins passed away. May Allah be pleased with him. May Allah have mercy on his son, his daughter. May Allah look over his family. And that was the thing that, I had a bad Ramadan, man. I was cussing too much. I was hurt. And I did, unfortunately, break my fast. But I did feed, I did the necessary things. I'm not going to get into that. And now, not like my Ramadan is for him, but knowing how he used to strive and always, man, you've been praying, you doing this, like he would, he wasn't no Muslim, but he looked out for me, if he knew I was struggling, or he'd be like, bro, you need to hit that mat. So, rest in peace to my cousin Nick, man. I love you, Brody. You feel me? But let's get on with that show, man. Tap in, man. What's going on with everybody, man? Today we've been seeing it. It's been a lot going on over the news. They have finally killed El Mencho. And this is some of the things that been kind of taking place. And a lot of people just be like, before we really dive into the El Mencho situation, I want to draw these type of comparisons. So what I do want to do, I want to play some content though, man. I want to play some content. Definitely. But y'all know I ain't gonna play the audio. You know, I'm gonna play it from something else. But for just to get a glimpse of who El Mencho is, but just to get a glimpse, y'all know I'm not. Hold on, man. Y'all know I'm not gonna play the audio, but just to give y'all a glimpse of who El Mencho is and what he represents, I'm gonna play this clip, and it just gives you an insight before we talk about El Mencho. I like to give a little background because a lot of people just don't know. So,
father like son, the men over. Judy, this is the story of like father like son. The men oversee Mexico's most feared new generation cartel, according to law enforcement, that controls the vast majority of illicit drugs sold in Metro Chicago. Tonight, the man they call El Mencho is still a fugitive, but his son, the so-called...
It's crazy how, and I'm not saying he's not selling these drugs, right? But it's just crazy. Ain't this the same thing that they said that El Chapo was doing to the major Chicago area? This the same story. I'm not saying he's not selling drugs, but we're gonna carry on though.
Mencho has just been extradited from Mexico to face U.S. prosecution. For drug agents tonight, if they can't get the dad, his son is the next best thing. Ruben Asagura Gonzalez, the 28-year-old known as Mencho, finally extradited from Mexico, and tonight is being held without bond on drug trafficking and machine gun charges following a brief appearance in D.C. District Court. Mencho, considered the number 2 man in the ruthless new generation cartel, reporting only to his father, Nemesio Asagura Cervantes, the feared and fugitive leader whose cartel has muscled its way into Chicago's illegal drug marketplace. 52-year-old Cervantes, called El Mencho, currently has a $10 million U.S. government bounty on him and has been described unofficially by federal drug enforcement agency officials as Chicago's public enemy number 1. Based on the
same thing they said about El Chapo. And I'm not saying these dudes ain't running no game, right? Or, I mean, they not selling no drugs. But why is the same story being used for the same person? Like y'all was saying El Mencho and El Anthrax and all these people was doing. Why are they getting just targeted with selling drugs in Chicago? Now we know for a certainty, even the Chicagoans have even reportedly came out and said on numerous podcasts and interviews that it's a well-known fact that the train of guns comes through Chicago and it's overnight. It's there for days. They know it gets robbed, but they never say nothing. They never stop it. And now you have El Chapo and El Mayo was being targeted as the kingpins and the number 1 drug runners to Chicago, and now that same story is being put on the back of El Mencho. Again, I'm not saying he's not a drug lord. I'm not saying that. But it's just kind of strange that y'all don't have nothing else to... Why Chicago? If Chicago is that fucked up of a city, Don't y'all think y'all need to be watching the mail room a little bit more? The cars that's like, I'm the drug. I mean, y'all CIs. Why is Chicago being left to fail? Why is Chicago being left to be dissipated, deleted, depleted, no more? Why is Chicago being left wide open like that? I think it has something to do with the high velocity of African Americans in Chicago. I really do. I really do.
The reward that's out for him, he is a prime DEA target.
Well, there's no doubt about that because he leads one of the most powerful cartels in Mexico, and he's important for us to look at and look at hard.
El Mencho's son was actually arrested by Mexican police in 2015 and has been in custody there ever since. Mencho, an American citizen born in San Francisco, managed to fend off extradition to the U.S. for 5 years, in large part by claiming that he wasn't the person authorities said he was. That ruse ended today when U.S. officials executed an extradition warrant and retrieved the accused cartel major domo. As Chicago's top drug officer told the I-Team last fall, those kinds of arrests can be game changers.
Taking off one or two, even significant targets, makes a difference. But to really impact the organizations, we need to treat these transnational criminal organizations the same way we treat drug trafficking organizations and completely dismantle those organizations.
But aren't these the same guys that you helped put in place? DEA? Ain't these the same people that the DEA and the Mexican government said that we had to strike a deal with these people because these people were the ruling factor? Ain't these the same people that y'all helped elude the police for decades? Ain't these the same people? What people fail to realize is in 2026, there will be new gatekeepers. I don't care what it's about. The government has found out how to keep people actually in line through this music. And people only want money now. They're stuck on money. Their way of controlling things is the way that they always been doing. New gatekeepers. You forget about the Middle East with Saddam Hussein? Y'all forget about Arafat? Y'all forget about Muammar Gaddafi? Like Patrice Lumumba, like the governments are only interested, whoever's at the top that could control everybody else, we need to strike a deal with those people. Why does it continuously come to find out that these people or infiltrating the law force?
With El Mencho still in the wind, Bell and other U.S. counter-drug officials remain intent on finding him and bringing the drug overlord to justice. Now that Mencho's son is on U.S. soil, there is undoubtedly deep concern at his family's dinner table back in Mexico about what he knows and what kind of deal American prosecutors might dangle to inspire him to talk. That case playing out of Washington, D.C., it's Chicago's drugs that we care about.
They've been dealing with the DEA. El Chapo told you that. But just to further the type of person El Mencho is.
In 2016, El Mencho, the notoriously violent leader of Jalisco's new generation cartel, was furious after law enforcement began arresting his men and shutting down several of his drug operations. In response, El Mencho called his local police chief's phone and gave him a scary wake-up call.
Delta 1. Hey, ¿quién habla? Mira bien, hijo de tu madre. Soy Mencho, güey. Relaja tu gente a la... Soy Mencho, güey. Relaja tu partidas, si no te voy a partir tu madre, tía, toda tu bola de perros. Te tengo identificados 30 güeyes. Hasta tus perros te voy a matar si no te relajas, güey. ¿Cómo ves? Ya está, señor, ahorita los voy a... ¿Se me ponen a tiro o tú eres el primero que vas a marchar por ellos, León? Señor, usted me conoce, usted sabe que yo uno no se mete con ustedes para que se pasen de... No, señor, ahorita yo se las doy. Mire, revíremeles a todos los hijos de su... porque todos agarran y son buenos de puercos. No quiero que me apagues este teléfono, después te voy a marcar, güey, a ver si no te relajaron a la... Sí, señor, usted me conoce, usted sabe que hay respeto.
2016.
Like, this is the type of, like, everybody was talking about, everybody wanted the picture on El Chapo. And then everybody wanted the picture on El Mayo. And then everybody was, in between those times, they was looking at the children of these two drug lords. We know El Mayo's son started to talk to the DEA when he was in jail. We know that started to split the rift. Shit started, if you go back and you look, after El Mayo's son Vicente got locked up, everything started to fall apart within the Sinaloa cartel. Shit started getting raided. They started getting closer and closer to El Chapo. They made it seem like, oh yeah, you know, we gonna do this. They tricked him, rocked him to sleep. Oh yeah, you know, come and do it. We gonna write the movie for you. And then as soon as he get locked up, he says, his sons and them say, man, we had deals. Vicente say, we had deals with the DEA. El Chapo and them people start saying the same thing. Then they get El Chapo. El Chapo's sons get El Mayo. Now, with all these big wigs of information behind jail, the sons of, well, Vicente Zambada, he's out, I guess, in witness protection. If not, he's in the wind. But you have Emilio Zambada, El Mayo, a lot of information. People still trust him. You have El Chapo. A lot of people still trust him. And then you have Chapo's sons, right? And then you have El Mencho's son. So the police is getting all this information. They're clearing the board. Somebody on this board is finna take these people places. We need to make sure that whoever takes these people places, they have an open line of communication to us. And we all know what that means. The war in Sinaloa is crazy now. You have El Chapo's sons against El Mayo's sons. Now El Mencho is dead. Y'all haven't been seeing the play before it even became public. The reason why I say there's gonna be new gatekeepers is because how does Mexico, and we all know the chauvinistic behavior of Hispanic men to women. How does Mexico have the first female president before America? And on top of that, how does the first female president of Mexico is not Mexican? She's not Mexican, she's Jewish. Like, where is her family at in Mexico? People didn't see the signs, the writing on the wall when it started happening. We all know goddamn well that Mexicans are DVers. We know that. And I'm not saying blacks aren't, but we know. Mexicans know too. Y'all know y'all be going a little bit overboard. But how does a country of drug runners, they don't even have a female drug lord that people are openly scared of right now? She might play the shadows, but we have seen women try to kick that door down and become that El Mencho, to become that El Chapo. But what happens? Either they have to play the background or they subsequently end up dying. We are talking about Mexico, a male-driven, dominated society on all levels. Government, politics, drugs, market. The only thing the females are allowed to do, and I may be, kind of like stretching it here, but they get to cook. They get to cook, open up a little shops that they might gotta, you feel me? But they don't really get to flourish in the drug world. It's male dominated for them and they not going for it. So again, how does a Jewish woman become the president of Mexico? If we all know the DEA and everybody has ties to the drug cartels and all that, where did she come from? Where was her involvement with the cartels? Where was she at through the Parliament of Mexico? Where was she at in the civic order of on the way to become the president of Mexico? We never even heard of this woman before. But my thing also is, I can't get the why of why she's going after drug cartel, but not going after pedophiles. Not locking people up that have been known, they've known to kidnap children. Now, I don't know the reason to it, but it just seems quite weird to me that all the top drug leaders of the main cartels that have gotten too big and too powerful to really listen to a government. If all the Sinaloa cartels would have went back to the one cartel, it would have been crazy. But people say that would never happen. Why won't it happen now if El Chapo's off the table, El Mayo's off the table, El Mencho's off the table, El Anthrax is off the table? These main players are all wiped off the table. I'm telling y'all now, it's going to be a confederation. It's going to be a federation hell, and Sinaloa is going to be on its way back to one cartel. You got to think about the influence, the influx, and the notoriety that these three heads have. You see what happened with El Chapo's son got arrested, burnt the city up. Burnt the city up. Released him. El Mayo, what could he do but go to war with the Chapitos? What can he do? They can't really go after the state, but they showed where they don't have the power at. In the sky. It is some people that is still backing truth. They are not being bought off by the cartel, and if they do, they work in both sides. We can all agree Mexico has kind of gotten too out of hand with this drug war. We can kind of agree to that. We could kind of agree to that, right? So taking these three heads off the table, y'all don't think nothing gonna happen? Hey, yer. I see y'all in these comments, man. Let's deal with some of these comments right quick. Give y'all a time to hit that like button. Smash that like button. Smash that like button. Shout out to Alexia. Shout out to Shirley. Hey, these cartels are becoming more young and more violent. They becoming more powerful and more influential than ever. With the backing, when you have somebody to back you like a El Mencho, a El Chapo, a El Mayo, all these LOs, you are gonna have a problem on your hand. Now take that power and mix it with somebody that knows how to say, like, get on Instagram, flaunt the wealth on Instagram, fake pages, have cartels continuously. Now you actually have a whole narco music world out there that these people are getting paid from the cartels to make this music. So yeah, he's the new generation cartel, 46 years old. His son, and this is why I said I wanted to play that about his son too, because it doesn't stop with them. Like, you have to understand why these people are locked up with like father, like son. Because these people didn't go to school to learn nothing else. They went to school for family business. Now, whether that business was illegal or legal, it doesn't matter. So they were given a front row seat in drug university, how to be either just like their father or to be somewhat similar. A lot of them turned out to be almost even worse. It's everywhere, Alexa. It's Chicago, it's Miami, but my thing is, why it is just weird that y'all continue to say Chicago. You know, Chicago this, Chicago that. And like I said, I think it's because, you know, it's a high traffic area of African Americans. And I think, and I'm not saying the Mexicans are doing it like that, as in to say we gonna, you know, deplete this city. I think it's the crack epidemic. Look what you have going on in Philly. Look what you have going on in Chicago. These are black heavy infested areas of African Americans. And everybody is saying what? Everybody want to leave Chicago now. Everybody want to leave Philly. But these drugs is being allowed to go into these cities in particular to deplete them. For the money, all day long, for the money. I really think that these governments that play these games with drug lords, you know, it's only gonna be a matter of time before you get too big. You gotta look at these dudes, man. These dudes had power unimaginable. That some navies and armies and municipalities, municipal police couldn't even control. These guys had power that they really, it's not about can they take over the city, they can. They just don't do it. The government sees the pullback of the cartels. They know that the cartels could take over and bleed the whole city. They could shut down the whole city. But also the cartels know, what would that gain us? How are we going to move our merch? We got to become chameleon into everyday society. The frescas, the pineapple man, the frutas, the peanut seller. The cartel has infested into everyday life on that side of the border. And it's not about, to the governments, to me, it's not from them, it's not about they want to stop the influx of the drugs. They want to control the drugs because they have been seeing how lucrative it is. Now, the word on the street is that, El Chapo had a super meth lab in Singapore, and they told him if he didn't shut the lab down, then, he was going to take him to jail. How true that is? It could be 50-50. Here it is, you have a man that has a meth lab in another country that you can't get to. No extra, you can't mess with it. You take him off the because what did he say? I'm going to make a meth lab that I will never have to answer to the gringos again. They will have to answer to me. Remember, this is what El Chapo was saying. El Chapo was saying this, and it was well publicized that he wanted a super meth lab that he didn't need to take orders from the DEA anymore. And what did they do? They locked him up. Now, obviously, El Mayo probably was playing them games with the police. Because we all know when you get to that certain height in the drug world, you's a snitch, for sure. And everybody that's killing for you know you a snitch. They can't wait to sit in that same chair so they can get the snitching. They don't give a fuck. That's the drug game. So El Chapo probably sat back and said, oh yeah, you think you finna just sit out there and work with the DEA to get me off the board? Oh no, hey son, set that boy up. Set that boy up and bring him over here with me. And that's when the real splat fell out with the Sinaloa cartel. And they definitely wasn't finna wait around for El Mencho to go clean up off of both of the organizations not really having a top head. That's what made the Sinaloa cartel so strong in the beginning when it went from the Guadalajara cartel. when they made the Sinaloa cartel. All them cartel leaders under one. That's what made it so good. That's what made the cartel stick together. That's what made the cartel become unbreakable for decades and years. Hey, what up, Miss Midwest Walk By? Hit that like button, y'all. Hit that like button, man. For sure, hit that like button, man. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Don't hide. But this is Alexa. What's up? I see you. I see you. But this is just weird to me that the man that could have brought the Sinaloa cartel back underneath one, he's the most violent to do it. El Mencho is the violent. He was doing the things that they were blaming the Sinaloa cartel for, like beheadings. That was El Mencho and them doing. Remember, El Anthrax worked for El Mencho. The soups. I don't know if people remember about the soup man. He'll put you in the acid and dissolve you. People was coming up missing. Remember when they said them students came up missing, that's what happened to them. They was dissolved. I hope not. But El Mencho, his history, police officer, worked in the army or whatever. Remember also his operation was the military wing of the Sinaloa cartel. He knew the violence he was betraying and acting out upon people put him in a position to be feared by a very, very few of respectable people. And he took that fear and he drove it into their face. And now with El Chapo and El Mayo and their head sons off the board, they probably wasn't going to let El Mencho do that. That's why they killed him. They didn't lock him up. They assassinated him. That's why, to me, it's just like, El Chapo and them was barking at y'all. Y'all didn't kill El Chapo and his bodyguard. And some might say, well, Pharaoh El Mencho wasn't giving up, he was shooting. That even gives clarity to he might have been trying to take over the Sinaloa cartel and he already knew what was going on. Or everybody that's gonna come into these vacant positions of El Chapos, El Mayos, they help set up El Chapo and El Mayo so they can have that seat. But also somebody that the DEA controls, somebody that the Mexican government controls. Why? Because if you know where these people are, you know who they are, how do you let the next person come sit in the seat? Some way, somewhere, somehow, he was talked to. What do you mean by that, Alexia? You think that the Sinaloa cartel takes almost all of the forces? Yeah, but see, hey, I see you, what's that? Nicky Arm. Yeah, that's in his military days. He came up underneath Chavez in the military days. Chavez was one of those strong, staunch, no American supporter to the fullest. And see, some of these drug cartels are not stupid. They know the history of their country. They know how they have been shitted on, duped, they've been tricked by the American government. They know that. So now the same thing that El Chapo and them wanted, they wanted to run their own shit. They don't want the DEA and them around no more. But what's happening? They still trying to be there. Yes, I think Sinaloa Cartel, I think the Sinaloa Cartel is the strongest out of love, though. You gotta think, man, El Chapo and probably El Mayo, you know, these people was paving roads. These people was actually, people had businesses because of these people. And I'm not saying it's a good thing or a great thing or a bad thing, because when you living in a third world country right next to a superpower and the government can't get right, what else do you turn to? Who else do you turn to? Families gotta eat, man. Kids gotta survive. So if the government ain't doing it, for sure the cartel gonna do it. And that's why I think El Chapo was so loved. And maybe El Mayo too. But they children do not live on the same ground that they live on. As in building that staunch support of your people. Like me, if I was El Chapo, nobody paid. Hey, man, listen. How much this whole section paying lights every month? I'ma find that out. Y'all in this section, y'all don't gotta worry about y'all light bill for the next 10 years. I set up an account to where everybody over here light bill getting paid. They not doing that no more. And that's why I think the Sinaloa Cartel is so strong, because they did right by the people. The people knew they were selling drugs, but they wasn't just out there terrorizing the people like that for no reason. I know I'm gonna get backlash, but you gotta call a win, man. When you helping these people, giving them money to farm, and you don't really want nothing back but hey, look, the feds is coming. Man, you look out for them people, man, when the government won it. So that type of love goes a long way. It builds bonds. It builds bridges. You will always have love. You know, no, even here in LA, man, you know, people love El Chapo. You know, they love him. You know, he was painted as the Robin Hood, whether people want to like it or not. El Chapo was painted as a Robin Hood. And nobody else was, man. That's why a lot of people, it's just like, you know, El Chapo had a mind too. Created super lab, don't gotta send all the drugs to the gringos. You feel me? And build his people up and do what he gotta do. It's not really. I mean, Mexico. Mexico has its situations. I think that the reason why you don't see Mexican drug addicts in Mexico, because they all working. They all high as fuck at work. Nigga on meth, on coke. Nigga, them niggas at work coke the fuck out. You need like now. You know, just to, you know, throw out some banter. When I was coming back from Mexico, when you coming on that borderline to leave Mexico and you going on that ramp, oh, bro, you see a whole lot of homeless, drug addict people. But I think the reason why you don't see them, it's because them niggas is all at work, bro, high as shit, sniffing their nose. You feel me? They all got a shit. They all eating burritos. They all got a shit. They all eating green chili. I know a cokehead when I see one. And them niggas be the managers, nigga, at the dealerships. You feel me? Nikki's gonna say exactly. You know that too? Man, come on now, man. Don't play me, man. You feel me? Nigga talking about you don't hardly see no drug addicts in Mexico. Nigga, because all of them got a motherfucking job. They already hard workers. Nigga, Mexicans get drunk all night long, nigga, and still go to fucking work in the morning. How you gonna tell me, nigga, it ain't no drug addicts in Mexico, nigga? Because just like it ain't no homeless alcoholics in Mexico. Nigga, they all go to work. Nigga, they be drunk as shit at work. Nigga. I don't know what you mean by that, Alexa. These gears, protective gear, I don't know. But no, that's what I was gonna say too. Like also, man, you know, nigga, everybody in Mexico hustling. Everybody in Mexico hustling. Nigga, the crackhead hustling, so you can't call him a crackhead. That nigga got a hot dog stand. He's selling peanuts, M&Ms. Nigga, 5-day-old bacon wrapped on the hot dog. Them niggas is out there hustling. They hustling, nigga. That's why you not gonna, like, even the homeless, the nigga that's homeless, after he sell all his hot dogs, he going to sleep right there on the ground, right next to his car. Or he live in a garage, nigga, a little bitty ass garage, just enough for him, his car, and like 7 pairs of clothes. Them niggas is not playing around. You feel me? Niggas in America so bougie, nigga, they don't, nigga, let you find out, nigga, you homeless, nigga, you will not be getting another customer at your hot dog cart. In Mexico, they don't give a fuck. Oh, bro, homeless, we definitely finna go buy 6 hot dogs from that nigga. Fuck you mean? Let's put some money in his pocket. They gonna support, nigga. And he gonna save on to damn near every dime that he make. And he gonna go elevate. He gonna step stages and degrees so he get to where he need to be at. But for sure, the nigga homeless and the nigga addict. Oh yeah, man, they gotta wear protective gear. Yeah, man. But you know, still at the end of the day, you know, they ain't got the best, man. On top of it, a lot of them do the drugs that they cooking up. So, you know, why use protective gear, you know? And then you think that I know they do. I know they do, but you know, it's some of them out there that's not doing it. That's just what it is. Hey, y'all know what it is. Y'all know who it is. It's your boy Pharaoh the God, always on the job. I got 5 Let's Talk. And as always, it's real talk, raw talk. Y'all go ahead and hit that like button. It don't cost you nothing, man. Get them likes up, get them likes up, get them likes up. We say it thrice, we don't say it twice, man. Be nice, hit that like button. But it is kind of weird to me that they didn't try to apprehend El Mencho. That's what leads me to believe that El Mencho either wasn't going for the one Sinaloa cartel no more, or he was the one trying to do it. And the feds said, no, it's a new sheriff in town. Y'all was all loyal to the old regime. Everybody that's in power, they scared of the El Menchos and El Mayos. That's why they started to turn on them. Now, they're going to tell these people, look, man, we don't want none of that bloodshed. We're going to let y'all sell y'all drugs. Y'all going to break ours off. Don't squat, don't cough, just break ours off, and y'all going to be able to do what you do. But if you overstep these boundaries, how many people you don't think want peace in Mexico? Look at the last 20 years in Mexico. It has only gotten worse. It only gotten worse. Them now trying to kidnap American tourists and killing or threatening to kill American tourists, that is the power that El Mencho had and swayed over his people. Of course they gonna retaliate, they gonna do their thing, but how long are they gonna fuck up their own country because their leader is dead? It's not gonna make no sense, B. They gonna have to give it up. Because they still are drug sellers. They're drug lords. They have to sell drugs. They can't go against the government. They are no longer a paramilitary. These people are professional kill squad drug lords. And I really think El Mencho had to be taken off the board. Something is going on. Like I said, now that this lady is in power, people are just giving up on these people that they feared for years. What does this lady have that made these other people in office switch on these people? They definitely stupid. They won't do it. Well, are you saying a smart peddler won't take his own shit? I mean, look, it depends on what smarts we talking, butt smarts or street smarts. Because we see these drug lords high off their fucking horse on cocaine and methamphetamines. And they've been running these organizations for decades. High. I done seen El Chapo in videos and on the YouTubes, the little videos they have of him doing drugs, dipping his fingers in it, putting it in his nose. El Mayo, El Mencho the same way. These drug lords take their own product, but that don't mean they not smart. They gotta be some type of smart to where they are leading these mass organizations on a large scale. And they're so high, they're in tune, they kind of know who to trust. Alexia, man, I appreciate it. I appreciate you, man, for liking me, man. Please hit that subscribe button. It don't cost you nothing. And tell a friend to tell a friend and tell another friend. Yeah, fentanyl is a small ingredient, but there is holistic things that you can take for your migraines. You know, there are holistic things to take. You know, when you have migraines, put a towel on your head and have somebody turn a cup of water upside down on your head. It'll relieve your migraines. You don't gotta take drugs. Or if you have a migraine, I don't know if it's garlic, an onion, or a piece of soap underneath your armpits. It'll help with fever and migraines. My nephew used to have migraines real bad. He don't no more. Stress too, man. You gotta relieve your body of stress. Sometimes you can do marijuana, man. You ever tried marijuana? You know, You know, sometimes that helps. You know, marijuana isn't playing. People, you know, look at it negative, but it is there to help you. It is there to help you. Let me know what y'all think. Do y'all think it's gonna be some new, that this is being done for new gatekeepers? Or do y'all think that it's just their time? Let me know what y'all think. Cause I think, how could it be their time when they could have been got caught? New gatekeepers. They can't, the gatekeepers that's there right now, they can't control them. So they gonna tell them, either you going to jail or you getting killed. Which one? Because we coming for you. And the only reason why they coming for them is because they too strong. They don't have to take orders from these governments and these alphabet people no more. Money corrupts governments. Yes, and that's why the American government is clearing house with El Chapo. They've been in business with him for years. Remember, they put El Chapo on the bad news and tried to make it seem like El Chapo got the father, the Catholic father, killed in Mexico back in the days, when actually they were sent to try to kill El Chapo and the father. And when the father, the Catholic father got killed, they blamed it on El Chapo. But that Catholic father was on his way to go expose the CIA, the DEA, and the Mexican government of working, he had proof of working with the cartel. Not just in a scared way, but some of the officials from the DEA side and the Mexican government side were actually drug lords and kingpins in Mexico. They actually ran cartels. And they couldn't have that getting out. So they killed him. And this is how deep it goes. Did you ever see the Catholic priest from the Vatican denounce Mexico? Never. When that father, that padron, how you say it? Padron, the father got killed, it was never big hard from the Catholic community about that. Why? Because it was going to expose everybody. Did they find his suitcase when he got killed? No, they didn't. No, they did not. Yeah, they're definitely see what happens in the drug world when America gets in. I said this before when I did the El Chapo report. When the feds come, they want two things, man. They want your freedom and your information. And depending on your information, you might get your freedom. Your limited freedom back, because you're going to forever work for them. But then they want your information because they know you want to keep some of your illicit connections, some of your illicit businesses. So, of course, they're going to be like, we already got you 30, 40 years, 10 years to life, double life without. You want, Esmeralda to keep running them 10 tons of keys for you every month? then give us something. Because if not, we gonna go knock her off the board too. And that's the deals that these people make. You know? If El Mencho's son 6 years ago was stayed in a Mexico prison for 5 years on the grounds that he was not the person that they was looking for, you can't tell me that ain't drug money influence. You can't tell me that. If it was that easy, El Chapo could have just been like, hey man, I'm not El Chapo. I'm not the guy you're looking for. I'm not him. It's not that easy. Like Alexia said, she says money corrupts governments. Kiki Camarena, the DEA agent that got killed in Mexico. It is now proven that it was CIA and DEA that was there during his interrogation. One of the men live right now in Miami. He's a Cuban. He was one of the men that was interrogating him. How much do the CIA and the DEA know about it? Do they know that man, come on, bro. New gatekeepers, that's why they had Chapo in there. That's why they helped formulate the Sinaloa cartel into one big regime so the DEA and the CIA can have control over a larger amount of property in Mexico versus just warring with the homegrown. A lot of them people, them drug lords in Mexico was mad at El Chapo and them for fucking with the DEA. You feel me? So that's another reason why people hated El Chapo and them for working with the DEA. But El Chapo was just working with them on a better standard than they was, because all of them was working with the police. So now what happens? The Chapitos, they get knocked off the board. They half in jail, half on the streets. El Mayo children, it's hard to say. You feel me? And don't forget, El Chapo do have daughters. His wife was convicted. She did snitch. She was a part of the cartel. You feel me? But these people that are gonna take the throne from these people are not gonna act violently the way that their predecessors were. Why? Because that's the agreement that they finna be on. That's the agreement. The agreement now is no more violence. Man, just the fentanyl, man, just the fentanyl that they putting in shit nowadays is bad, man. Like I was saying, my cousin, he was found unresponsive. Allahu Allah, man, Allah knows best, man. People just gotta be more protective about their life, man. I'm gonna say that. I'm not gonna knock nobody for what they do, but people just gotta be more protective about their life, like real talk. Real talk. Yeah, Norcan, man. Speaking about fentanyl, I had caught an Uber one day, and when I got out the car, I went to my baby mama house, and I ended up like passing out off of fentanyl. I don't know how it got in my system, bro. When Cause you know my family, I be so turned. You feel me? They be like, oh, that nigga be on drugs, and so when they got the report, and it was like no meth, no cocaine, nothing in their system, just fentanyl, and it's fresh. I'm like, shit, nigga, gotta be, nigga, somebody had to spill some in that car. You feel me? And then people was telling me that people was getting kidnapped in Uber. Niggas was, you know, hitting motherfuckers with the pass out shit. You feel me? So I don't know. But yeah, man, you know, I had went to the hospital for having fentanyl in my system, man. No coke, no nothing. Just straight fentanyl. And it was crazy. And you know, my sister after that, she was like, yeah, you know, I gotta give you the Narcans and all that. Man, get that shit up out of here, man. Feel me? Like, I don't fucking do no drugs. Like, oh, that was just a weird habit. Like a weird little thing that happened to a nigga to where now I'm like, nigga, I better not sniff no powder. Shit. I think it was, to be honest, and I'm not shitting you, I think it was in the Don Julio bottle I was drinking. It was, if it wasn't in the Uber, it was in the Don Julio bottle. Cause it was a brand new bottle I had. And the homies was trying to drink it, but I'm running from the homie playing with him like, nigga, you can't hit my shit, nigga. And when I got in the Uber, I started drinking on the Don Julio. And my baby mama said, when I got there, when everything was going on, she was like, what could have had this nigga like that? She was like, that Don Julio. And she said she poured that shit out. On mamas, bro. That shit was crazy. But I was like, it's crazy because like I remember going to like spazzing on her, talking shit to her, telling her I wasn't trying to fuck and all that. I remember falling out on the bed. But I fell out like, nigga, I'm finna go to sleep. Like I wasn't even like hard breathing, like I was like scared, like I was having no shit like that. She just said when I fell down, she just said I wasn't breathing. She said she couldn't see me. She see my chest moving, but like she didn't see me, like she couldn't hear me breathing at all. Then she started pounding on my chest and all that shit. And then she called the ambulance. She called my mom and them, called my sister and them, called my family, was like, you know, letting them know. They got to be telling her like, nigga, CPR or something. The nigga on dope. This what they telling her. The nigga on coke. And you feel me? But then when the toxicology report come out, they like, oh, my bad. Nigga, shut the fuck up, nigga. I don't want to get in trouble. Everybody doing it, man. You know, drugs. And to be honest, I really think fentanyl is a government-controlled drug, man. I think the government did that, man. I think, the DEA, hey, y'all, spike it with this. You know, that's just my theory. I could be wrong. But, I got about 10 minutes left, 5 minutes really. Conversation, anything anybody want to ask about the said subject or about anything else, we could chop it up for about like 10 more minutes, man, and make sure y'all hit that like button, man. Come on, man, match them likes up to them views, man. For the people that be in here, like really, 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 like, man, y'all gotta stop doing that. My page ain't monetized, man. My page will never be monetized. I had this page for years. I done got this page, took about 8 times they done banned this page. You feel me? This page will never get monetized. This page will never get monetized. This page will never get monetized. So with that being said, I really just appreciate y'all. Hit that like button. Hit that comment. Indulge. Whatever. Yeah, Carl a fool. Man, they around town, man. You feel me? They ready to vote for somebody, man. They ain't playing. You feel me? They around. Yeah, it's just weird to me, y'all, though, man. It's just really weird to me that they killed that boy, that they assassinated him. I'm not saying he ain't deserve it or no shit like that. I don't know. But, you know, everybody else get locked up. But, you know, why you kill him? Probably just wasn't one of them dudes that was going for it. Man, you better stop playing, man. You better get on Big Girls Need Love. I know it's an app like that or something. You better stop playing. Go get you a little torta. You feel me? Stop playing. They gonna keep you warm and fed too. On mamas. With that being said, man, I'm out of here, y'all, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. Indulging in the comments, hitting that like button. I hope y'all told a friend to tell another friend to tell another friend to share, like, and subscribe, man. In retrospect of today's episode, I really believe that this is happening because of the new president. New president, she want people to work for her. That's just my belief. I don't think that this is happening by coincidence or by mistake. I feel like all the way back to El Chapo getting locked up, everything's been targeted and been a plan to bring in about new gatekeepers. I've been saying the new gatekeeper situation all the way since hip-hop, since the Diddy, since everything happened with Diddy. I've been telling y'all about these new gatekeepers. It don't just happen in hip-hop and television. It happens around the world. With that being said, y'all know what it is. Y'all know who it is, man. It's the man behind the voice, Pharaoh the God. And this is the Platform Podcast. I Got Five, Let's Talk. Hit that subscribe button, y'all.